So welcome back to my channel. As always, I hope you're doing absolutely amazing. Tonight on the show, y'all, I'm going into a touchy-feely subject. Sensory sensitivity. What is it? And what can we do when we're changing vehicles to help keep the symptoms to a minimum? It's something simple that you probably overlook, so let's stay tuned. And by the way, thanks to the user from Autistic Not Weird for bringing up this subject. So I'll link to you in my show notes. Stay tuned. Welcome back to my channel and to another episode of Truckin It. I'm Zach Bell, and yes, I'm autistic. Now, can an autistic drive a truck? Yes, as long as the severity does not impair his or her job performance. That being said, a lot of us autistics and those with Aspargus run into a problem every now and then, where if we're changing vehicles, and by the way, this might also affect other people as well, so let's not limit this to the people with the disability. Sensory sensitivity. Now, one thing that I remember is that every vehicle is different. Every vehicle is different. And every vehicle has its own unique personality. Every road has its own unique personality. And on some days, those personalities can change. So, I would encourage you, especially if you're renting a car or if you're getting into a vehicle for the first time, to go take a look at that owner's manual. There's a lot of stuff in there that the engineers have found out with their own sensory sensitivities. So you can learn to do things like operating the controls a lot better. Now, if you've only got your vehicle for a couple of days, it can really mess you up, and you might actually panic. So when you're getting into a different vehicle from the one you're used to, the best thing I can tell you is to spend some time with it. To relax, take a few deep breaths, go into that glove box or jockey box and into that owner's manual. Check all your paperwork, spend some time with it, and by the way, if you're buying a used vehicle, go take it to a trusted mechanic who can help you learn the controls and who can diagnose any problems that might be occurring with it. Because oftentimes, that's a good practice to do. If you're renting, you got to treat it as if you're buying a new vehicle. You spend a few minutes driving the car around once you've signed the papers and such, and get a feel for it before you go out, because if you don't have a feel in some controls in some infuriating location, you're going to have a hard time with that vehicle. And especially if you have it for a few days, it's just going to wear on you and wear on you and wear on you, and you're not going to know what to expect until you're ready to turn it in, because you're just not used to it. Case in point, in 2011, when I was going from being a company driver to a lease purchase operator at my first trucking job, I had to rent a Toyota Prius. You know how the shifters are on those if you've ever driven one. And I just was not used to it. I couldn't get it in neutral for the life of me. And when I did get it in neutral, then I couldn't get it into drive, because I wasn't familiar with how the shifter worked. Especially since it's one of those newfangled CVT transmissions. And of course, I learned a lesson from that. And Every time I transition vehicles, I spend some time just getting familiar with them. Because, I mean, that few extra minutes it takes to read that owner's manual and to play with the controls translates into a few fewer seconds when you're actually driving it. And it helps you become more comfortable. So, if you got sensory sensitivity like I do, let's just avoid the panic. Let's spend some time practicing, because as I find out, I mean, even if it's just a rental car for a week, practice makes permanent. And you will definitely be a lot calmer after you've practiced with the vehicle. I'm Zach Bell. Let's make your next trip your best trip, and bye for now.
Sorry ass DJ.